What's good in the YouTube? This is Crazy Samurai 71 here, bringing you another video. Today I'm bringing you a video on Power Morphicon 2018, and for those who do not know, Power Morphicon is a major Power Rangers convention that happens every 2 years. It is a super fun event. It features the most Power Rangers actors and people involved in the series than any other convention. It's super cool. It's the first opportunity to see who the next cast will be for Power Rangers. It's the first opportunity to see new merchandise and all sorts of really cool stuff. And it's going to be a really great time this year. I am beyond excited. And again, it's happening this week. Yeah, it's finally happening. August 17th through the 19th. This Friday through the Sunday, and there will also be a Day Zero event happening on Thursday. So if you're a Power Rangers fan, if you're not going, I highly recommend going to the next one. If everything goes according to plan, there should be another one happening in the next 2 years, and believe me, I will be there at that one. I'm going to this one, and and this will be my third time going to Power Morphicon, so expect a lot of stuff to come out of that from me. And believe me, if you're going, I hope to see you there, because I will be looking for everyone, and I am beyond excited. It's such a fun event. There's tons of awesome panels already announced. Photo ops have been announced, which sound really great. There's photo ops for every single season, which is amazing. The fact that you can get every single season represented, and even some extra photo op opportunities are included. Just so many things and more are very, very, very exciting to hear about. So anyway, let's get started with our guest today. And then I want to talk a little bit about the panels that I might be going to for Power Morphicon, because believe me, with the panel list being up, I was originally going to do a whole panel list video where I was going to talk about all the panels that are going to be at the convention. The problem with that is, if I did that, it would take over an hour to do, because there's so many panels. Believe me, I tried to record it, and I got through like Friday and Saturday, and by the time that I was done with Saturday after talking about things, I was already a half an hour in, and I was like, no, I'm not going to do this thing because it's way too long. And I'm not going to every single panel. That doesn't make sense, and you can't do that. What I will be doing is, if I don't see them, I'll at least find them online, because that does happen. But I will say this much right now: it's worth being there in person and being able to even contribute to the conversation, maybe even asking questions to the actors and stuff, because it's so much fun. And believe me, it's such a worthwhile convention. If you're a Power Rangers fan, I recommend this convention over any other Power Rangers convention that happens. Ranger Stop is a great convention, but it's not as great in the sense is that it doesn't have anywhere near as many actors, and it's on a smaller scale in comparison to this one. So anyway, let's get started. I forgot to mention also that last time there were 3 guests that I actually originally didn't find on the list, but then I looked at later that night when I was announcing guests that were announced for the last batch of actors. So I'm going to mention those briefly, but just in general, like, I'm talking about the new 8 guests that were announced for August. And again, there still might be another wave announced tomorrow or even the next day, so keep that in mind. So as far as things go, we have 152 guests currently confirmed, and I'm going to go through my tally list. My tally list, for those who do not know, is a list that basically goes through how many actors there are per every season and also every category. So categories mean it may not just be Power Rangers, it may be Big Bad Beetleborgs, it may be VR Troopers, it may be the Japanese show, it may be movies, it might be something related to the convention, you name it. It's all there, so I'm going to start right away. And also keep in mind that certain actors are featured more than once, so that's why the numbers may not equal up to 152. They may equal much higher because I feature them in more than one place. I always give the example of Jason David Frank, because Jason David Frank played Tommy Oliver, who was the Mighty Morphin Green Ranger and White Ranger, the Zeo Red and Turbo Red Ranger, and also the Dino Thunder Black Ranger. So of course he's been featured in multiple places, but I count him in each place so that you know how many actors there are per iteration. So for starters, we have our Power Rangers creation involvement, which is basically anyone involved, whether it be writing, directing, doing anything that leads to production of the show. We have 8 people confirmed that will be showing up right now. For Power Morphicon creation, we have 2 people confirmed. For Power Rangers media, we have 2 people confirmed. For MMPR, we have 24 actors confirmed. For Mighty Morphin Alien Rangers, 4. For Zeo, 9. Turbo, 14. In Space, 10. Lost Galaxy, 6. Lightspeed Rescue, 8. Time Force, 12. Wild Force, 9. Ninja Storm, 4. Dino Thunder, 4. SBD 6, Mystic Force 2, Operation Overdrive 2, Jungle Fury 2, RPM 4, Samurai and Super Samurai 3 technically, Mega Force and Super Mega Force 6, Dino Charge and Dino Supercharge 4, Ninja Steel and Super Ninja Steel 9, Power Rangers 2017 movie 1, Hyper Force 4. Actually though, it turns out that Christina V is going to be showing up. So that's something that wasn't even mentioned as a confirmation, as an official confirmation, but apparently if you look at the panel list, it does mention her name. So she is showing up, and so is Malika Kim and Zach. So Zach and Malika are both showing up, and so is Melissa from the company. So that's actually very exciting, because they're going to be doing a Hyperforce panel. Hyperforce anyway, so yes, we're gonna have those 7 or so people. Unfortunately, Yoshi Sideroso hasn't confirmed so far that he'll be showing up, but it would be amazing if he does confirm. He played Coda, the Blue Dino Charge Ranger, and also he played the Green Hyperforce Ranger in the show as well. So we'll have to wait and see. I'm not sure right now. Anyway, continuing on, Super Sentai, we have 3 confirmed fan film. We have 1, Kamen Rider Dragon Knight 1, VR Troopers 3, Big Bad Beetleborgs 1, Toy Designer 1, MMPR Go-Go Power Rangers Comic Writers 3, Monster Designer for Godzilla and Ultraman 1, Godzilla Comic Artist 1, Japanese Monster Artist 1, Puppetry and Poetry Photography 1, YouTube 3, Comedian Actor 1, Fukuyama Ichiban 4. So those are all the categories, and that's what our tally list looks like right now. Again, certain people can be put into other categories as well, so keep that in mind that maybe I'm not counting everyone, and there's certain panelists that didn't get official announcements. So that's the other thing to consider, that when you go to like the panel list, it doesn't give you everyone, because like it gives you more people than you actually get from the confirmed guests. So keep that in mind, that like the actual number is probably closer to 160 plus in reality if you include all those extra people. So keep that in mind, and that's actually amazing, because that's way higher than it's ever been for Power Morphicon. I mean, it's been high in the past, like 140 something, that's about where it's been in the past, but 160 or so, that's really high, and that makes me very excited. So anyway, I would like to go on and talk about the guests that were announced. First of all, I'm going to cover those 3 that I mentioned before that were announced last time. And I missed them, unfortunately. Those 3 include, what do you call it? I'm trying to get to them. Linkara from Atop the Fourth Wall. He's pretty well known. He does a special series related to Power Rangers where he like talks about it in different ways, and he went through all sorts of different seasons and did a lot of really cool videos with it, and it was very exciting. People love it, and just in general, he's very much so liked. He's going to be a special panel as well for those that are interested. And the other one was No Pick Spandex, which is this group that does a lot of videos on like Power Rangers media, and also on like how suits are made and other things like that. So like made and also found. So that's very important to consider. I wanted to go over both of those things. As far as things go otherwise, we also had Scott Page-Turner. Scott Page-Turner. Sorry, I said that wrong. Scott Page-Turner is known for his work on Power Rangers Zeo through Power Rangers Wild Force, VR Troopers, Masked Rider, and Big Bad Beetleborgs. So he's actually done a lot of stuff, and that's actually super impressive that he was involved in all that. Again, those are great seasons overall, so it is cool to see him showing up. He's shown up to several of them in the past, but yes, I wanted to just cover those just so that we had them covered now. So next we got our new guest that I wanted to talk about. First, we got Michael Sorich. Now, Michael Sorich, for those that are wondering, is pretty cool because he actually is known for voicing several Mighty Morphin Power Ranger monsters, but one that he's specifically known for is voicing Squat and Pumpkin Rapper. So Pumpkin Rapper is a super classic, iconic Mighty Morphin Power Rangers monster, but Squat was, you know, one of the main baddies inside of Rita's palace up on the moon. So that's very cool. In fact, we actually have Jason Ybarra as well showing up, who played Babu. So we actually have Babu and Squat showing up to this convention, which is so cool to think that both of them will be showing up. And we have Rita Repulsa showing up. Unfortunately, Lord Zed is not in the best situation where he can be showing up, the actual actor who played him, Robert Axelrod. But everyone else, I mean, it sounds like we're getting them. I mean, Kerrigan Mahan, who played Goldar, is showing up. Scorpina is showing up. You know, all those original people, the voices and the actors, whatever, are going to be showing up, which is amazing. So it's very cool to see Michael Sorich, because he doesn't really show up to conventions usually, especially Power Morphicon. So it's kind of a treat to see him showing up. And I'd love to hear him doing the voice of Squat. That would be cool. And also Pumpkin Rapper. Pumpkin Rapper would be amazing to hear. Next, we have Jennifer Yen. For those who do not know, Jennifer Yen played Vipra in Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue, which is super cool. Vipra was an amazing actress. Vipra was an amazing character. The actress Jennifer Yen was also really great. She's only showing up, unfortunately, Friday. She has done Power Morphicon in the past. She was at the last one, I remember that for sure. And she had her daughter, I believe, which was very cool. And she's very, very nice and just a good person. So there is going to be a Lightspeed panel on Friday. So if you're interested, I'm sure she'll be there. And that's very cool to look forward to. Next, we have Michael Forrest. Michael Forrest, for those who do not know, is known for voicing Prince Olympius in Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue. So we actually have the voice of Prince Olympius. We have the voice of, I believe we even have the voice of like young Prince Olympius showing up. And we have the voice of Diabolico showing up. So that's actually pretty amazing. And we have Vipra. And we have not all the Lightspeed Rescue Rangers. I mean, we're still missing, like, unfortunately, Pink is not confirmed, and Blue is not confirmed for Lightspeed Rescue. But still, we have a lot of people confirmed, and we have Captain Mitchell. Unfortunately, we don't have Miss Fairweather, and she doesn't usually show up to Power Morphicon, but that would be amazing. If we could get her one year, I'd be so happy. Next, we have Bruce Highness. Again, I'm not the best with the last name here for him. But anyway, he is actually pretty cool. He's a photographer for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. He's the man with the camera and took many famous still shots from the show that you know and love. So he is known for taking several of the iconic pictures of the show back when the show was first being released. And, you know, just several of those screenshots and pictures that people love that are iconic moments from the show, that was him. That was his work. So that's very cool to know that he's going to be there, because I mean, he got to take all those amazing pictures for such an iconic show. Next, we got a writer for Power Rangers. This writer is pretty interesting. He was involved in some pretty different seasons overall. The seasons that he was involved in were, and let me first start off with his name, Amit Bahamik. Amit, for those that are wondering, was a writer for Power Rangers Time Force, Wild Force, Samurai, and Megaforce. So it's interesting because he kind of was working on like 2 seasons that happened one after another, and then he stopped, and then he didn't come back till Samurai. And it doesn't say whether or not he was involved in Super Samurai. I would imagine he was. And Megaforce, it sounds like he was involved in, but it doesn't mention Super Megaforce, but I would imagine he was involved in both. It doesn't say though. But that is kind of interesting to think that he was involved in all these things. And yeah, that's very cool. And he's only showing up Saturday, so keep that in mind. If you're going, you'll only see him there that day. Next, and this will be what the last 3 are, they're all actors for Fujiyama Ichiban, which is this Japanese kind of inspired show that has a similar look to like Power Rangers, though it has very different suits and costumes and has nothing to do with it in general, but they tend to show up at Power Morphicon. I don't really know the audience that well, but people do. I mean, they are showing up, and they've done it in several cases, so I guess they're popular enough for them to be included, or I mean, I guess in some cases they just let them show up either way. But anyway, we're starting off with Marshawn Mack. Marshawn Mack is known for his work on Fujiyama Ichiban. So that's cool. I don't really know him all that well, but it is cool to know that he's showing up. Then we have Travis Hall, who's also known for his work on Fujiyama Ichiban. And then we have someone that I do remember from last Power Morphicon that we have an image of her showing up, and that is Wilsa Darrow, and she's also known for her work on Fujiyama Ichiban. So again, I don't know that show at all really, but it is nice to know that we are getting people from that show that are specifically known for it, even if I personally am not that familiar with the franchise at all. And believe me, I know that most people don't really talk about them at all. Like, unless you're into the franchise, no one really even mentions them online in any social media or anywhere else. So just keep that in mind. Like, if you're wondering who I'm talking about, believe me, I'm just as clueless as you are. So I'm just telling you that right now. I really haven't in the past really taken much of a look at them. I might in the future, but honestly, that's about it. So as of now, that is our list. 152 guests are confirmed. Several guests I am looking forward to seeing. There's several cool panels that are going to be coming for Power Morphicon, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit now, that I will definitely be at certain ones. The ones that I know I'm going to be at, for Friday, I'm looking into going to the Thunderstorm panel, which will be from 4 o'clock to 4:45. I'm considering it. I'm not saying I'm going, but that panel is going to have the Thunderstorm Rangers, so it's going to have both the Thunder Rangers from Ninja Storm, and also it's going to have Capri and Mara from Power Rangers Ninja Storm, the two villain sisters that were the cousins of Cam. Yeah, both those actors are showing up, and then also the Dino Thunder actors that are going to be showing up will be there, and some other people. I don't remember who John Telligan is, but he's also showing up. But I know that Jeff Perezio and Kevin Duhaney are showing up. Jeff Perezio played Dino Thunder White, and Kevin Duhaney played Dino Thunder Blue. So that's very cool. As far as other panels I'm showing up to for Friday, B Squad Reunion, I'm considering that panel should be really cool. It's going to have the Core 5 SBD Rangers, and also Greg Arnowitz, the person that was the producer for the show for Power Rangers SBD. So I'm considering that one because they've never really had a official panel with all 5 of them in one place. There's been several years where they've had like 4 or 3 that have shown up for Power Morphicon, but it's amazing to see all 5 showing up. So that's great. I mean, it would be great to get some of the voice actors from that show, like John Toohey, who played Kruger, Dougie Kruger. That'd be incredible. And also the voice of, and also the actress that played Kat would be amazing. As far as other things go for that day, Shining 6 Rangers, I'm considering that's going to feature a lot of 6 Rangers. I was really surprised, I didn't realize how many are actually showing up. Philip Andrew played Merrick, Rhett Fisher who played Ryan, Justin Emo who played Zane, Jeff Perezio who played Trent, Dwayne Cameron who played Tyson, Mike Jin who played Jem, and Lee Ming who played Gemma, Cameron Jebel who played Orion, and Davey Santos who played Ivan. Sorry, yes. So those are really cool. Saturday is going to be my busy day with panels for sure. Saturday, I know I'm going to be going to the Hasbro Toys and Collectibles panel and Games Power Hour, which will be one that will feature all sorts of new products for Power Rangers, and also the Hasbro special presentation for Power Rangers Super Ninja Steel, which will be a panel that would be something you do not want to miss, because that panel will feature, first of all, the Super Ninja Steel cast, most likely including all 6 Rangers from, well, actually, it should feature, let me make sure that I'm right here. It will feature the 6 Power Rangers Super Ninja Steel Rangers, most likely. Again, some of this is actually like in question marks. So it will feature the 6 Ninja Steel Rangers. It will also feature most likely Mick, and it will feature the reveal of the Beast Morphers Rangers, and also likely have a big reveal. I'm not sure who will be revealing it this time. it might be Chiplin, but I don't know. Just because of the fact that Hasbro is taking control in some cases, that maybe Hasbro will be announcing Beast Morphers, and that's cool too. I'd be very excited either way. As far as other convention panels go for that day, I might go to the MMPR anniversary panel that will feature the MMPR Power Rangers and a couple of extra actors from Mighty Morphin, which is amazing. And yeah, we have a lot of Mighty Morphin Rangers showing up, which is exciting. I'm definitely going to the Hyper Force panel. I think that's going to happen. I don't know for sure, but I think so. That panel is going to feature all 5 Hyper Force Rangers that I know so far. It's not going to feature now. It's going to feature Zach and Malika as well as Melissa. So that's a really tempting panel. I'm also definitely thinking about going to the Forever Red panel and that panel would be amazing because we have so many Reds showing up. And we also have the Shattered Goods panel, which is going to be so cool to the live reading. It's going to have actors playing their characters from the panel. And it's just so amazing. They're going to have Jason Davis who plays Tom Holland. They're having Aaron Cahill who plays Jen Scott from Netflix. They have Walter Jones who plays Zach from My Morphin. Barbara Ziggy who plays Rita Repulsa from My Morphin. David J. Kelly who played Jordan. Jason Nardi who played Skull. Paul Schreier who played Bulk. Kelson Henderson who played Nick and Boone and all these other amazing roles. We're going to have Pierce Uderzo who played Barb and also Preston in Power Rangers Ninja Steel. We're going to have Megan Camarena who played Chloe in Power Rangers Hyperforce. And we're going to have Kyle Higgins, the main writer of the mastermind behind Shadow Gray. And also there's going to be a brand new music made by Ron Washington, the music studio for the Power Rangers series from the early seasons, like Mighty Morphin, Zeo, Turbo even. These known for some classic songs. It's super exciting. As far as everything goes, I am considering going to Michael's Angels Prom, and as far as things go for Sunday, I'm not exactly sure if it's what I'm going to. I might go to the Super Sentai Rising panel. I'm considering that. It's going to be a panel on the there's going to be a Black and Gold panel. That could be kind of cool. I'm not sure yet. Maybe I'll go to the one regarding the movie. That's one that I'm considering. There's even one. Oh wow, I didn't even notice. There's a panel for the horror. That I didn't even realize. I might go to that. That was something that never was talked about in real detail. The Order was this movie that's going to feature all these classic Power Rangers actors in this really cool original movie that had nothing to do with Power Rangers, but it just had all these amazing actors from the show. And there's going to be some really cool panels with like Lost Galaxy and In Space. That should be amazing. Yeah, there's just a lot of really cool panels. There's going to even be an MMPR Villains panel, which sounds so cool, and the Zeo panel. Oh my god. Yeah. There is some really exciting stuff happening. So if you are a Power Rangers fan, I would highly recommend going. If you are, I would highly recommend going in the future. And if you are going, I hope to see you there, and I hope to see you at the next Power Morphicon for those that aren't going and for those that are going, because believe me, it is an awesome panel. I mean, it's an awesome convention. I'm sorry. Too excited, so close. I'm beyond hyped, and you can tell by how fast I'm speaking, how loud I am. You know, I'm very excited. So please remember to like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next videos. Until then, guys, I'm Crazy Samurai 71, and goodbye, guys.